Mm, Brian, are you seeing this?
I see that we are live on YouTube now. Philip, how about
Oh,
you?
sorry.
We are on.
Wonderful.
Hmm. I wonder why it's showing. There's a pop-up on my screen. It says live streaming
Mm-hmm.
not available at this moment.
All right. So I see that we are live. I'm just going to put a shout out there. Greetings, everybody. It's Brian Terrian here from the Disability Digest. We'll be turning my camera on in a moment, but just to let you know that we will be starting in about 1.5 minutes for our live event today. So welcome, sit back and enjoy the show.
Okay.
Okay, welcome everybody to the Disability Digest Wednesday live event. Thanks so much for joining. I see the comments about the black screen. That's because my camera was turned off. I just turned it on, so it should be showing up soon. And today we have our assistants with us today, starting with Miss Jam is back from her world tour. Welcome back, Jam.
Hello, everybody.
And Philip Price representing himself and his Facebook group. And last but not least, Cassie the dog. Yes, is with us today. After a couple weeks off, she's well rested and well dressed for today's show.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Cassie.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. So for those of you participating, again, welcome. I see the numbers piling in. It would be wonderful to know like where you are located, like geographically. That's always kind of cool to get a feel for what's going on. And if you're in Philip's Facebook group, there is a chat feature that people have access to. Is that up and going, Philip?
Sure.
Okay, good. All right, great. So for today's topic is part 2 of how to use new technology, specifically artificial intelligence, also known as AI, to get you through the maze of disability-related issues. Last week, we talked about how to use AI and Chat GPT for finding jobs, finding treatment, communicating with your doctors. And if you were not around for that one, you can find that on our YouTube channel or in a respective Facebook group. Just look for the replay. But this week, we're going to focus on disability qualifications, specifically disability qualification statements for your initial application. You'll learn like how to create and craft a statement that will go in the remarks section of your initial application that will maximize your chances of getting approved. You'll also understand from today how to write a letter to Social Security on your own behalf, or even a full legal brief that explains your situation, your criteria as to why you qualify for disability benefits. And folks, the reason why I am doing this is because in today's extremely competitive Social Security environment, if you want to get what you're entitled to, it's really important, in my opinion, to make your situation stand out. Now, if you're watching this and you're already approved, you can use this concept for your continuing disability reviews, or take the same concept, customize the statement for other situations. So I want you to think about it this way. If you're going through the disability approval process, I just received a call from somebody moments before this who has 10 years of medical records, thousands of pages of medical records that she ultimately would like to have submitted to Social Security. So think about a Social Security employee that could be new because they've had a lot of turnover, that is going to be faced with going through these medical records manually, 10 years. Let's say it's 2,000 pages. Do you think they're going to read all of those? Probably not, because they're pressed for time to make a decision. They're behind. It's the highest level of cases and the lowest number of staff that's out there. So what do? Right? So what you're going to learn to do is how to take your situation and communicate it and reference a few key parts and your medical records that stand out, that tell your story. So you're going to do their work for them. So instead of 1,500 or 2,000 pages, they can read one page and reference the information in your case file that will help you get approved. Folks, this is what professionals do in this industry. I may be upsetting the apple cart by revealing this today, but my job here at the Disability Digest and how we work is we give everything away. What we know, we don't hold back. That's Philip is a disability recipient. He's out here to help people. He does the exact same thing. And if it doesn't work for you, if you want to have it done for you, then perhaps it's an option for us to help you. But we can't help everybody. So our model is to give everything away for you. So you'll learn more about that in a few moments. I don't want to speak on your behalf, Philip, but knowing you for 5 years,
Yeah.
that's your deal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, at the end, we're going to take some questions, or if you have applications that are relevant to what we're working on today, we definitely do some customization for you. So we'll address questions relevant to this topic. And then if there's other general disability questions that you have, you are welcome to enter those into the respective chat feature. And then either Jam or Philip will go through those and we'll have a go at answering those. Before we get started, though, I have a really important announcement today. Philip Price is celebrating his birthday with us here today, right? And he could be doing a million other things that are probably going to be more fun. Well, maybe not, but it's a privilege to have you here. And on behalf of everybody, happy birthday. So if you're so inclined, give Philip a shout out in this celebration today, and many more, my friend.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Hope so.
Right on. Okay. Are we ready to get going?
We are ready.
Okay. I'm sharing my screen now, and it's going to come up. So I'm going to reverse engineer this. I'm going to go through a statement with you and show you how to build it. But I'm going to first show you where it goes and why I'm doing this. Here at the Disability Digest, when you join us, we have a social, if you're going through the approval process, we have a Social Security disability approval course. And it takes you through, depending on where you're at in the process, it puts you into a respective step with the exact information that you have. So what I'm showing you right now is step one, how to apply. Now, if you've been through this step and you got approved, then you would be on to the approval step. If you go through this step and you are denied, then you're going to go on to the next step, filing an appeal. So for today, for those of you that are in the course or soon to be in the course, how you would use this is you come into the approval course, you understand what you need to do for your initial application. And in step 1A here, we have some items that you need to do or don't need to do, but should do. And one of them is really communicating what your how you qualify for disability benefits in 2 sentences or less. So that's the concept that we're going to work on today. We're going to give you some general criteria and enter it into Chat GPT to get approved. So once you have that statement done, this is also part of the approval course. Let me go back here. In our approval course, we show you how to file your initial application. There's a complete video that's down here, right here, but I have it open and I'm in the video in minute 19. And this is the remarks section of your Social Security disability application. And it says, enter your case theory here. So this is where you're going to put the first statement that I'm going to share with you, right? So you'll have all the answers. Entering your doctors and meds and all the other information is done prior to this. Okay. Am I making sense so far?
Yep.
Yes, no, maybe? Okay. So in black here, and I'm going to put it in bold and blow it up a little bit so perhaps you can see it better. I'm going to give you a template statement, and this is too much text for me to put in the chat because I tried it last week. But if you pause the video, you can kind of jot it down and do this on your own. So the statement that I have used to create a case theory that goes in the remarks section is structured like this. I'm not able to do my job, so you insert your work, since, which is the date that you stopped working because of your conditions, not just the date that you stopped working. You want to put the date that you stopped working because of your conditions. And then because I have, and list your conditions, despite being treated by insert the types of doctors, I have these limitations, okay? Prepare an explanation in less than 8 sentences. And this part is not consistent. Sometimes it ends up with 10, sometimes it ends up with 20, but I put 8 sentences in there, so we'll see how it goes today. So it says, prepare an explanation in less than 8 sentences for Social Security why I cannot work, referencing my limitations and qualifications for Social Security. So your job is to modify this and then bring it over to Chat GPT, which you can get for free. And if you didn't learn how to do that, then check out last week. So just Google Chat GPT and you're going to enter your statement into the message there. Okay. So what I have done down here in red is I've created a statement that I'm going to read to you. So I'm not able to do my job as a truck driver. So I inserted the job type there. Since December 2nd of 2022, because I have degenerative disc disease, diabetes, and gout. Despite being treated by primary care and pain management, I'm not able to sit or stand for 15 minutes or more than 20 minutes. My vision is 2300 in my good eye. And it says, prepare an explanation that is less than 8 sentences for Social Security, why I cannot work, etc. Okay. So you're doing, what I did is I customized this and made this statement right here. So I'm going to copy this. And we're going to see what happens. So if you're new, just kind of a little backfill. This is different than a Google search because as you'll see, if you put this into Google, you're going to get random pages that come up. This will create a custom response based on your information that you put in and Social Security. All right, so see, in this example, it goes beyond the requested 8 sentences. So if you want to modify it, you just go back up, and I'm going to change this to 4 and see what it comes up with. All right, so when I do 4, it comes up with something that would fit in here. So I don't believe you're going to be able to see this, so I'll just kind of give you a feel for what it comes up with. It says, I'm writing to explain why I am unable to continue my job as a truck driver and why I believe I qualify for Social Security disability benefits. Since December 2nd, 2022, I've been suffering from degenerative disc disease, diabetes, and gout, which severely limit my ability to perform essential job functions. Despite ongoing treatment from primary care doctor and pain management, I can only sit for 15 minutes, stand for 20 minutes, and my vision in my better eye is 2300. These physical impairments make it impossible for me to meet the demands of my previous employment and hinder my ability to secure gainful employment elsewhere. I kindly request a thorough evaluation of my case and consideration to Social Security disability benefits based on my significant limitations and inability to sustain substantial gainful activity. I kind of feel like I'm a reader in church when I did that. Do I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Wow, that's awesome, but kind of
Hallelujah.
scary.
Yeah. So this is your statement that you would take and you would put it in the remarks section, right? That'll help you definitely make a difference in your initial application, but also it will help you in understanding how to communicate your situation. Okay. If you have questions regarding this, make sure you put it in the chat, and we'll take some time to do that. I'm going to go through the next example. And let's say that you go through your initial application and you were denied, or even let's back up a little bit. Let's say once your case is filed and it's into Social Security and you have a caseworker, at that point in time, you can submit additional information. You're limited in your online application by that remarks box of how much you can put in there. But once again, you have a caseworker, you can provide more in-depth information. And you could even indicate that more information will follow. So what I'm going to show you next is how to take a more in-depth statement and write either a personal letter to Social Security, just like you did, or an actual legal brief, like you were representing yourself as an attorney or your attorney, and how you can create that with a similar statement. All right. So in this example here, what we have done is we have a statement. These are similar criteria. I am blank age, gender, that has not been able to do my job, insert the job type since because I have conditions. Similar structure. Despite being treated primary care doctor, in this one, you insert your medications. These limitations prevent me from doing my work. And then you're going to list your limitations. Prepare an explanation that I can submit to Social Security Administration explaining why I cannot work and qualify for disability benefits. All right, so what I found to work in this structure is slightly different. In that I have prepared down here a statement. And what I have done, let me start from the top here. I'll read the statement. I'm a 54-year-old male that has not been able to do my job as a nurse since December 2nd because I have degenerative disc disease, neuropathy, diabetes with an A1C of 7.1. And as some of those that are diabetics in the crowd know, that's kind of high. Despite being treated by primary care and endocrinologist, did I pronounce that right? I think so.
Yes.
Pain management and taking 8 medications. These limitations prevent me from working any job. And then I just listed the limitations. Now, remember, in some of the other work that we've done, it is this section right here with the treatment that you have that are the key components to communicate. Most people just communicate the conditions, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to structure this so that it is a full legal brief. Like if you're using a disability attorney or non-attorney, what they should prepare for you. Now, this could be improved.
Just a note, Brian, it's endocrinologist.
Endocrinologist. Okay. Endocrinologist. So I don't have it spelled right. I'm just going to take it out.
Sorry, Cassie's getting crazy over here. I'm going to put her down.
What's going on, Cassie? So this could be improved if you actually list your medications followed by the limitations, but I just did kind of a short version. All right, so at the top it says write a 1-page legal brief for Social Security disability benefit approval. All right, so here's our statement. We're going to go over here. Going to put it in, and away we go. So this blinking means it's working, hopefully. Here we go. Now, for those of you using Chat GPT, there are others, like you can use Google's Bard. Microsoft has one. I've just found the best results with this one. That's why I'm using it as an example. And if you do want to use the finished product, then I suggest that you copy and paste it and put it in, like if you go in your computer and type in Notepad, I don't know if you can see that on my screen, and then put it into Notepad. And the reason why I suggest that is it will take all of the like code or text formatting out of it. I'll show you in a moment when this one is done, what I mean by that. This one's still working. So if you're using a disability attorney or non-attorney, you could create this on your own and ask them if they've submitted one. And if they haven't, ask them to provide a revised version of this and submit it. Again, this is something that will help you make your case stand out. And you might be thinking, well, that's what I hired them for. And why aren't they doing that? And I don't know, maybe they are, but the people practice this and do it different and put different amount of effort and energy in at different times. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, in my opinion and experience, if there is an opportunity to get your communication done upfront in advance, tell the story right from the beginning, then you should definitely do it, and this allows you to. So as you can see, if you see the screen, it's creating an extensive brief here that's got, now we're getting to the end. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay, so if you're going to use this, again, my suggestion is to copy it from here.
Or you can just click on that tiny image right there.
This one, is that the
Yeah.
copy feature?
Yep.
Okay. And then the advantage of putting it in this notepad is it puts it in a format like this where you can go through and edit and clean it up. So what I'll do is, I think there's enough room in the comments section of the YouTube replay where I will put this in here rather than read this whole long example. But this will give you an idea of what it is. Now you do need to proofread, and you do need to, fact check this. This is not guaranteed to be 100%, but it is a good foundation or draft format for you to get started. So, okay, so we've gone through 2 examples of that. One other example that falls into today's theme that I'll share with you, and I believe I have an example down here, is you can use this for a third party reference letter. And what I did is I just took this from an actual individual that we're working with, and I asked Chat GPT to create a third-party support letter from supervisor. So Tyrone's supervisor was willing to write a letter of support. So went in, took the criteria, put it into Chat GPT, and we came up with this gorgeous support letter that explained historically what happened with Tyrone, his decrease in functionality on the job, how he was off on task, what the supervisor's role was, and sent it off to be signed. So there's just, without going into a whole lot of detail here, I want to share the concept with you that you can use this for a variety of different things. It's amazing how the knowledge that it aggregates is applicable to different situations. So those are the ones that I have. There's other segments of this. There's a value in doing this for housing, but I'm going to go through that in another event. We won't have a live next week because of the holiday, but the following week we'll do that, and perhaps one other topic. So just to recap, what I've gone through with you is how to create a statement to put in your remarks section, how to create like a full-on letter from either you or Social Security as to why you qualify. Now, if you want to change that letter that I just did from a full-on legal brief, you can change it to write a one-page legal brief from me to Social Security explaining why I qualify for disability benefits. And as we get ready to take questions, I'm just going to go up here and modify this request to show you how you would do that. So instead of having it write a one-page legal brief, I would take that out and I would ask it to write a one-page legal brief from me to Social Security explaining why I qualify for disability benefits. So rather than like being all legalese and attorney driven, it's going to be more and non-attorney language, right? So it starts here. I'm writing this to formally request thorough evaluation of my case, and puts the criteria in. Okay. All right. Let's take some questions.
Yeah, sure. Well, by the way, that was great, Brian, but my concern is that is somebody's job, right? And now we have it as a resource.
When you say somebody's job, like somebody will lose their job,
Yeah.
well, I'm fine with that. I look at it this way. I think there are as many people out there that want to do this on their own. That's fine. And even if they do this, and let's say that they're working with a representative, they present their story to them earlier rather than, if they're going to interview for somebody for representation, if you do this in advance and provide it to them, I mean, that just exemplifies how good of a potential candidate they are to work with, right? Because right now,
Right.
folks, I'll level with you. I mean, people that do this work, they can be really picky in who they're working with because there's so many cases out there. So to make yours stand out. So yeah, you're right. People are going to lose their jobs for sure, but that's how it rolls. It's nothing I can do about that. I guess I could be quiet, but all right, so let's get started. When Philip comes back on and joins us, we'll take some of his questions too, unless he's ready to roll right now.
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
here. I got no questions yet.
All right.
Got a question though. On the Chat GPT, say, could you use it if you have an IME or a CE consultative examination coming up, and I get a lot of it in the Facebook group asking what to expect and what questions do I need to ask at a CE, or is there any questions? Could you use Chat GPT to generate some of those questions?
Excellent idea. Hadn't even thought of that, but for sure. So the concept when you go into an IME is you want to say, these are my conditions, these are my limitations, and what I'm being treated for, and what you should evaluate me on. Yeah, absolutely. And then you hand that to the doctor on top of your medical records, ideally, or a summary of your medical records, and make sure that you hold them accountable for a proper evaluation. Great idea.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Jim. I don't have any questions from my group yet.
All right. Here's one. How much should I have held federal tax?
How much should I missed the part in the middle.
I have held.
I don't understand that one. How much have I withheld in federal tax?
Hmm.
How much should I have?
Yeah. How much should I have held federal tax?
I don't know. Philip, you get that one?
I'm assuming it means how much should they have taken out, but that's you cannot control that. That's
Right.
based on income.
Right. Yes. Social Security taxes are set. Yeah. Unless you know something I don't. Yeah. Some more clarity on that would be helpful. I just really don't have a good grasp of the question.
All right. Can I submit workers' comp settlement paperwork to Social Security on my SSA account?
I don't know. Does anybody else know if you can submit documents in your My SSA account when you have an active case open? I heard from one person in one of these lives a few weeks ago that you could, but that's the only one. And we do have access to case files, but it's not through like a portal like that. So I don't know.
All right. Using the AI program has a paid version. Are there advantages in getting the lifetime version?
I have not used the paid version. Is anybody out there have an opinion on the differences for paid versus the free that I showed today? Hi,
Okay,
Sunshine.
yeah, that's sunshine. Yeah, shout out to David, Miletta, Lisa. These are members that I've spoken earlier this week, spoken to, Doug and Richard. And of course, our live viewers, everybody's greeting you, Phil. Happy birthday.
Ah, thanks.
Okay, here's a follow-up from Sunshine. Does the questions placed AI for research have a way to save the question inside the AI, or do you have to save all content in a note document?
I have found that you're best to save it in a note document. For example, if I went through like I was just showing you and I did 2 or 3 more, then I could go back and look at those. But if I like clear my cache out and come back, then it's new. So that's been my experience. So saving them would be suggested.
Mhm. All right. Is it true that there are checks being given to people who are on disability from Publisher Clearinghouse?
I have no idea. Yeah, it falls outside of my area of expertise.
Mhm. I have papers from Social Security and I need help with what I need to do. May have to call you afterwards. Great.
Sure. Yeah, if we are working directly on your case, then definitely follow the contact information to get in touch with us. I expect we have answers. Or better yet, if you don't reach anybody, just let us know what the form numbers are. They're in the top left.
All right. Here's the feedback from earlier's question. Are they referring to Social Security tax withholding? I think it's called Form SS4.
Could be. Um, yeah, I still don't know. I don't, it's not clear to me what the response or what the question is. Sorry.
All right. That's all of my questions here on my screen.
Okay, great.
Brian, I've got a lady here that I've been talking with that uh, she was approved. She had a hearing on 4/12/23,
Okay,
approved by the judge on 4/11. And today, as of today, she still has not received the approval letter.
want to make sure I get this. She was approved before the hearing,
Yes, the day before. And
so
she still
that's May.
received.
Yep, that's okay. So is she asking what to do?
Yes.
Yeah,
Who contact would that be um, the ODO that she
right,
needs to?
right. So when you're hearing notification, the top right-hand corner, what Philip is referencing is the hearing office. If you contact them, weave through the phone maze, it shouldn't take you that long. It's not like calling the general number. And then what we do when we are representing people in this is we call them and say, I've, we have you would say, I have a hearing. And I'm just really, if you have any financial concerns, what the challenges are, and it just seems like it's beyond the reasonable amount of time to get a decision. And I'm wondering if there's anything that's holding it up, anything that I can do to help out. And then just listen to them.
Well, when a judge makes a decision like that, he doesn't write out the approval documentation, right? Doesn't it go to somebody else? He passes it off.
Exactly.
Of the backlog and all that, that could be the problem, is that it's taking so long to get.
Right. Right. So this is an interesting point, and just a quick rant. Judge does the decision, which it was a decision, a bench decision. He did it before the hearing, so that's pretty easy. He takes his information in whatever format it is and provides it to a decision writer. And my understanding from the networking group that I'm in is that the decision writers are still remoted in their homes, and their productivity is not too keen. So there seems to be a breakdown between the flow of, yeah, you had a decision, and it's getting stuck in the writing process. So not going to help you much, but the question to ask should be effective.
Yeah. All right. So best course of action is call ODO, and
Yep. Yeah.
you would.
Yep.
And if she had also asked if she's calling all the time, is this going to affect the decision?
No, I mean, I don't know what defining all the time, but it's at this stage. So that's 4, 5. So it's beyond 60 days. I think it's fair to call once a week.
Yeah.
And make sure that you emphasize if you're having any financial difficulties. I'm behind in my electric bill. I've got my house, right? And it says, 60 days, you're beyond 60 days. And it's okay to actually take a statement and submit it to the hearing office, just like we have shown you how to use Chat GPT. Write it out, write a letter to the hearing office. My hearing was on 4/11, and the judge made a favorable decision. I haven't received my decision yet. Write a decision from me to the Social Security Disability Hearing Office explaining that I am behind on my electrical bill and my mortgage, and would like to know if there's anything I can do to get this decision written. So there's an application for Chat GPT right there. Then you'd follow up and say, listen, I faxed in, because they published their fax number. I faxed in my situation, and I'm just following up on it. Because you could put on there at the bottom, please call me within 24 or 48 hours. And then after that, call them, because they're probably not going to call you back.
Yeah.
Good.
That's all.
All right, great. Jan, we all good on your side?
I have 2 more questions. It's recent.
Okay.
I've been disabled but accommodated at work for years. Then accident last year made everything worse and no longer able to accommodate. Would date of accident be my onset date?
It depends to what extent you had accommodations. If you've had accommodations that could justify the fact that you were working below the substantial gainful activity amount, which is 20 hours a week and earning 1,400 and what is it? $1,480, something like that. But it's really would be the hours a week. So so for example, if that could be proven, then you could roll it back even further. But if not, then it would be the accident.
Okay, that's 1,470.
1,470. Good. I only have a few more months to get it right, and then it changes for next year.
You only have 6 more.
Yeah.
You were
All right.
close.
Yeah. We good?
Okay.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, I dropped my representative after waiting 350 days with initial application in state of MD. That's Maryland, right?
Yep.
Does Social Security look at my decisions differently?
Not that I know of. Yeah, not that I know, but one of the things that I see that's quite commonly out there, is people are firing representatives for what could be the wrong reason. If you follow the media or the work that we do, I mean, it is glaringly apparent that there is a long wait, especially in Texas and Florida. And if you fire a representative that could very well be a good representative and have done great work on your case, because you're waiting and you feel that they should be doing something to get you to the front of the line when they actually probably can't, you've lost a really good working relationship. So I just advise people to be conscious about doing that. We actually on this, there's over 900 videos on our YouTube channel, but one of them is if and when to fire your disability representative. And it lists things that, you know, if they don't have the right experience, or maybe they made a mistake, missed the deadline, or didn't communicate your condition properly, or things like that, that are really justifiable. But again, if you're firing because of the environment, Social Security, you know, it could actually end up causing problems for you. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Are we good? We're going to wrap up. 207 people that are out there on YouTube. I don't know what's participating in the rest of the world, but thanks everybody for turning up today. And Jam, thank you for your help. Cassie, I don't know what happened to that girl, but looks like she bailed early.
Yeah, she went back to her mom.
She went back to her mom. And Philip, thanks for joining us on your birthday, my friend. Appreciate that.
Glad
Yes,
to be-
thank you for your time, Phil.
Yeah.
Happy birthday once again.
Yep. And just a heads up, there will be no live next week, holiday week. So we're going to be off and doing some fun stuff, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. So hope you join us then for another segment